On this lesson, we're going to go to Freepik and find some assets for our postcard. So Freepik is amazing because it offers different varieties of assets like vectors, logos, or photos. So here you can see how I type restaurant logo and I got a little different options. I kind of like this one right here because I think this one works nice with the typography and the elements that this logo has. So I'm going to use that one and download it. But if you want to do your postcard, different, you could go like type something like cars, and you can see how also you can have logos, or you click here to have photos. So really the fictional business can be whatever you want, or maybe you already have a project like this in mind. So I also went and found these photos of salmons that I think I can use on my project. So I'm going to download them and go right back to Illustrator, and I'm going to show you how you can place them in here. So you're going to go to File and then find Place, or you could use the shortcut Ctrl-Shift-P, and then go to the folder where you downloaded your assets, and let's bring this one, the photo that is on the front. And you can see how it's big. I'm going to zoom out a little bit by pressing Ctrl-, and then go to one of the corners, and while pressing Shift, I'm going to scale it so I can scale it proportionally. So something like that, Ctrl+ to zoom in and move it on our first artboard. I'm going to move it and make sure that your photo is covering the bleed area. As I mentioned before, covering the bleed area is very important because that way you're going to get that information in case your project gets shifted a little bit when it goes to print. Now I'm going to go to Place again because I want to place the other image on the back. So I'm just simply going to place it, click there, and again I'm going to zoom out a little bit to see everything, scale it up a little bit by pressing Shift, and move it right here and zoom in a little bit. Now I want it to be in the middle, so I'm going to go to my line tool and I'm going to click while pressing Shift to create a straight line. I'm going to give it a stroke so you can see it, select it, go to my line, and if you don't see it, you can go to Window, Align, or press Shift F7, and make sure that you are aligning to the horizontal line center and that you are aligning to artboard. Right there, my line is right there in the middle, and I can scale up my photo, having that red line as a reference to see how much of the photo is gonna get right there. So once I have positioned the photo roughly where I wanted it, I'm going to scale it up a little bit, and I think that could work. What I want to do is if I click on that, you can see that this is a link file. And that is something you may want because sometimes printers would like you to send your file, your Illustrator file, and then the photos that you have used there and in a different folder, or maybe just on a different type of zip folder that you send to your printer, but you could also embed them. And I would recommend that you embed them right at the end once you are sure that you are not going to make any changes. And once you embed the photo is going to be saved on the document, so you don't have to include them differently. And the reason why I recommend that you do this at the end is because let's say that I'm going to Photoshop right here and I have that photo that I have on Illustrator open, and I'm just going to apply the effect color lookup that you could apply right there on the bottom. And let's say that I change the colors to something like this Kodak, and you can see a difference right there is kind of minimal. But if you make these changes and you save it as in the same format that you have your original file, so what you're gonna do is simply going to go to File and Save for Web, and to do that you're going to go to File, Export, and then Save for Web, or Alt-Shift-Ctrl-S, and then just hit Save and save it just as you had it, and make sure that you overwrite the image. And now if I go to Illustrator, you can see how I get this warning telling me that some files are missing or modified. So I can say, yeah, update them. And if I hit yes, you can see how that change that I just did in Photoshop has reflected here. So the photo hasn't moved. So that is great. In case you want to, for example, once you're working here, you think like maybe I can have both of them having different colors. So you can change, like for example, maybe something more, not that with a big contrast, because maybe you want your photos to be kind of the same. So again, Ctrl+Shift+S to go to Save for Web. You can save a copy. And again, you're gonna see how when I go back to Illustrator, I'm gonna get this warning telling me that they need some update, and you can see how that changed the photo. That's why I'm telling you that you should embed your photos once you think they are ready. I'm gonna go back to the original photo that I had. So again, just let's save for web, and let's just save the photo to have the original one that I just downloaded from Freepik. This is the reason why I'm telling you that you should always embed your photos once you are pretty sure that you have everything done and you don't want to make any changes. And once you've done that, you can just simply select on your photo and go click on that embed button. And you can see how that now is a change. It's not anymore a linked file, and it doesn't have that big cross. So you can see this one is a linked file. Once I click on that one, now it's an image. And this is going to make your file a little bit bigger, but that's okay. I'm going to create a rectangle again on this bleed area. Let's fill it so you can see it. Something like red. Select both of these, the photo and the rectangle, right click and make a clipping mask. That way I can mask and only have the photo on the bleed area that I need. I'm going to do the same with this photo on the back. Again, just making a rectangle, and then just can make clipping mask with right click, make clipping mask. I'm going to delete this red line that I was using as a guide, and with this we have placed our photos and we are ready to keep working on the design of our postcard. But first, I don't want to accidentally move them, so I'm going to name my layer, and you can go here and name this like photos on your layer window. And I'm going to create a new layer, and you don't see this layer window, or because I'm locking my photos because I don't want to accidentally move it. Change my other layer to content, and now I can work on that content layer.